I think more in hope than expectation. And we've seen some long-range goals going in this fixture against the goalkeeper, the quality of Bento. I think he'd be hard pushed to beat him from that type of distance. We'll get a chance to see the offside where Ivan Toney was. It was a wonderful ball from Riyad Mahrez. Just mistimed his run. Ivan Toney saved the referees a tough decision, but he was offside. A quick and precise decision again.
Win by Galeno, didn't really have a right to reach it. Toney turning it round the corner for Kessié. That's Al Amri on him again, and he didn't get the ball that time either. Abdullah Al Amri, it's a yellow card.
Not quite picked up the pace of the game tonight, Abdullah Al Amri. That's two challenges that he's mistimed. One of them that he's got away with. That one, not so lucky. Picks up a yellow card this early on in the game. He's going to have to time his challenges better between now and the end of the game if he's to stay on the field. It's a clumsy challenge. Doesn't need to do that in that area of the pitch.
A couple of tackles that would suggest to me that he's rather pumped up.
I think you can get that from the intensity inside this stadium.
38 caps for his country, Saudi Arabia, Al Amri. So far, George Jesus is outside of his technical area. He's trying to get that wall in place.
Have you ever seen George Jesus in his technical area?
Look at him, he's almost in the penalty area. He wants to be part of this.
He's brilliant. We say it every week. He's just as entertaining to watch as his team is.
Not doing the camera person any help at all with his positioning. Galeno's going to leave it. Mahrez, something that was deceived, and then Bento with the save from Demirel, because his header, I think, was creeping into the corner.
It's a well-worked free kick from the visitors. Takes Al Nassr by surprise. They push up. Keeps himself onside, Demirel. It's a comfortable save in the end for Bento, one you would expect him to make. It's a well-worked set play.
The concern for Al Nassr there is that they left Merry Demirel all on his own.
Oh, they have that threat, Al Ahli. We know that. They're not a free-flowing team. I mean, they're the lowest scorers in the top four. They've only scored 55 goals, but they're a threat on the counter-attack.
So a corner for the Asian champions. Galeno. Down by Mazraoui. Puts back in too heavily for Kessié.
And it's one thing with Al Nassr, we've seen them this season, they do play a high defensive line. So when they clear the ball out of the box from set plays, they're well trained, they're well drilled to clear the box and get higher up the field. And at times we have seen them caught out in that position.
Felix trying to weave his magic and not getting away past Asawi. Taken back by Bouchal. Now Joao Felix surrounded and powered over by Franck Kessié. Brozovic takes it back, and Coman sees some space, and Atangana's got hold of his shirt.
Now the tempo this game's been played at, they can't keep this pace up for 90 minutes. You see the two managers down beneath there on the touchline. Mateusz Jaisli was encouraging Atangana and his players. He wanted them to close down, snap into challenges, get close, win the ball back. Turnover possession has been rapid.
I think he's avoided a yellow card there, Atangana. Didn't make that shirt tug subtle, did he? Fast-paced, fiery, as expected, as advertised. All sorting out to do for the Belgium official before this Marcelo Brozovic free kick can be taken.
Well, you can see what it means to the players. I mean, that was right in front of the referee again. That wasn't subtle. He's going to have to keep his eyes about him tonight. The referee is going to be busy.
Brozovic has got the go-ahead now. Over the head of Ronaldo. He's come through to Simakan. Has lashed at that.
It was the wrong choice from Simakan, wasn't it? Looks like they played a high line on Ahli. I think the Al Nassr players would have been offside. When he gets in that position, he makes the wrong choice. He goes for goal. I think João Felix and Ronaldo were in better positions in the middle. They just had a little bit of quality and lifted it into the box.
It's him on the end of that header again there, Simichan, and then taken back well by Ibanez. Kessié. This is Riyad Mahrez. Mahrez weaving and working his way through, and it's come out to Galeno, who's bent it wide. He knew where he wanted to put it, everyone else knew where he wanted to put it, but couldn't quite make it happen.
And right there's the threat that Al Ahly carry. They sit defensively deep, but they spring and they're quick on the counter-attack. Mahrez, Galeno, within 3 passes, having an attempt on goal. This has been brilliant so far. It's been so frantic and hectic. We're seeing 2 teams who are going all out for 3 points. This could be a good watch.
Because frankly, that is all that will do tonight. Especially after Al Hilal's win over Damak last night, which has taken them back within 5 points of the leaders, Al Nassr. Over the top towards Tony, whose extra long limbs still didn't quite have the elasticity to reach it. And then a mistake by Hassawi, who is going to be able to rectify his own error. Settled his head as well, it seemed, because that was all very cool. Leno asking too much of Kessié. Bento will clear.
I mean, this game already has been played at such a pace and it's so open. You look at the distance between the defence and attack and the spaces on the pitch.
You wondered, didn't you, what Al Ahly would have in the legs tonight, given the 120 minutes of high-stakes football at the weekend. Now Atangana's getting that yellow card because he's pulled over João Felix.
Yep, I think that was accumulation as much as that individual foul. But he's been encouraged by his manager down on the touchline. Mateusz likes what he sees from Valentin Atangana. He gets close, he gets in and around players.
He's going to have to slightly adapt his game now, Atangana, for the next 70 minutes or so. João Felix, left by Brozovic, retrieved by Mane. Kaibari. Ronaldo, Brozovic. Tried to work it through a small gap for João Felix. Mane unable to keep Martinez's pass in. He was saying this week, Jorge Jesus, that they need to treat this week like they are playing 2 finals, one tonight and another on Sunday in Dammam against Al Qadisiyah.
Oh, Chris, they've got a massive 9 days. They've got 3 huge games in the space of 9 games, which could be season-defining. It will be season-defining for them. Also, that big game coming up against Al Hilal. You look at Al Hilal's running, it's going to be a lot more favourable than Al Nassr. But Al Nassr are the form team.
Last 2 games in the league between these two have both finished 3-2, both in Jeddah, with each of the 2 having success. And in 2023, the league fixture finished 4-3, with 2 goals from Cristiano Ronaldo. So goals certainly aren't sparse in this fixture.
So you're promising me goals tonight, is that what you're telling me?
Signed, sealed and delivered a little later, perhaps.
I think you might be right.
20 enthralling, but goalless minutes so far in Riyadh. Sawi. Galeno, who's keeping that pitch wide. Galeno's cross bounced the way of Brozovic. Pushed forward by Bouchal. Felix giving Mahrez the slip and doing the same to Galeno as well. And then on by Mane towards Brozovic. Can't keep the fluency of that Al Nassr move going.
I really like the freedom that João Felix has allowed in this team setup. It's quite a settled side from Jorge Jesus. Everyone knows their job. He's just allowed to roam around in the middle of the pitch. You look at his assists that he's got this season alongside Cristiano Ronaldo. He's got 16 goals himself, João Felix, but 11 assists as well. Shows the quality that he's brought to this side.
Towards Galeno, keeping his eye on it though, Bouchal. Kaibari. And now João Felix, and João Felix has a couple of options here. Ronaldo and Mane up ahead of him. It's gone to Ronaldo, who got his shot away quickly. He nearly deceived Edouard Mendy as well, who had to be on his toes.
There you go, there's the quality of the man. 20 minutes into the game, and we've hardly mentioned him. But he gets an opportunity. It's a super first touch. Just as quick, he gets the ball out of his feet, hits it with his left. Slight defection, and it looks like a really good save from Edouard Mendy. Such quick, intelligent play from Ronaldo. A good save to keep him at bay.
There's only 2 teams in the Saudi Pro League he hasn't scored against this season, Cristiano Ronaldo, and Al Ahli are one of them. He's got a chance to get the whole set because the other team are Al Shabab, and they are one of Al Nassr's still-to-play games. Brozovic with the delivery. Tony with the clearance. Al Kaibari. João Felix, who was lingering all the time outside of the box, has sent it onto the toes of Brozovic again. Owen trying to navigate his way past Ivan Toney. He's done that. And it's gone off Al-Jahani and left by Brozovic for another corner.
It's a solid defensive unit from Al Ahly, difficult to break down, but they do play very narrow as a back four. Walls within the width of the 18-yard box.
Brozovic takes it back, goes past one, then looks to get away from Mashrashi as well. He's overrun it, Brozovic. Sisawi, who is down and asking for some treatment.
Doesn't look comfortable at all, does he? I mean, he went down trying to chase Brozovic. Didn't seem to be anyone in and around him. Good skill initially from Brozovic. Got away from his man, but then the ball just got away from him, unfortunately for him. Let's have another look now. They move out very quickly, Al Ahly. Once again, you see the high defensive line. Looks like he takes a tumble and bangs his head on the way down, doesn't he?
Well, what will he have made of his team's start here, Matthias Jaissler?
Well, he knows that his team will come here tonight and they won't dominate possession. And here again we see the opportunity for Demiral. Set plays will be an asset for them. It's a free header, maybe slightly behind him, just can't quite generate the power. It was a comfortable save for Bento, one you'd very much expect the goalkeeper to make. But as I say, in Matthias Jaissler, you won't expect his team to come here and dominate possession. They're a team who are quite comfortable without the ball, Al Ahly. We see that numerous times this season. Even when they play lesser opposition at home, they will sit deep, they'll allow the opposition possession, territory, but they're very comfortable in what they do as a team. They'll break teams down and they'll hit them on the counter-attack, and that's just his style that we've become very familiar with.
Jaissler's going to check on the welfare of his fullback, Asawi. For the second game in a row, has a talking point that is revolving around his head. He doesn't look in a good way, though, does he? Certainly looks groggy.
He just cricked his neck on the way down. It was a strange one.
There's the new coach of Saudi Arabia, Georges Donis, being replaced Hervé Renard, who perhaps rather surprisingly has departed just a few weeks before Saudi Arabia head to the World Cup.
No, I'm very much looking forward to watching them in the World Cup. We saw the Club World Cup and we saw Al Hilal did their and made people really stand up and take notice of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia once again, and the quality of football that's on the rise. And I've got all thoughts that the national team will do exactly the same in the summer.
Al-Amri given away and causing his team a problem perhaps, but Mahrez, who was looking to slip it through for Kessié, has only slipped it into the hands of Bento. He's the puzzle piece, isn't he, Al-Amri, that isn't quite fitting at the moment in that Al Nassr defence.
He's been clumsy. His performance has been clumsy so far, and they do play a high line, Al Nassr. You have to be careful the way that he plays.
Felix just drifting around, picking up pockets of space. Ronaldo for Brozovic. This is Mane, Coman and Ronaldo and Brozovic are waiting in the middle. And Mendy with a plunge in the direction of the ball. Everybody will know Sadio Mane crosses quite like Edouard Mendy will.
He's been brilliant, hasn't he, Mendy, since he's come in. I think his performances, he's quite established himself as one of, if not the best goalkeeper in the league. Looking at the Golden Glove again this season.
Galeno, Bouchal now. Galeno thinks that Bouchal has used his hand there to stop the ball, so clearly he's going to immediately tell the referee to have a look at it. The referee is going to say, I will. Stops playing, doesn't he, Galeno? He's absolutely convinced.
Ball over the top again, that's the one that causes the trouble. He does well, Galeno, because he gets goal side. It's almost like he knows what he's doing. He kicks the ball against the hand of Bouchal. I'm not so sure what the fullback can do in that situation. It's not a foul. He's gone to ground accidentally, and then Galeno's kicked the ball against his hand. I think that'd be very harsh if that was given as a penalty. I'm not so sure there's much he can do, the fullback, Bouchal.
The hand was going down to support him, wasn't it, rather than stopping the ball, stopping Galeno.
Once again, the officials have got the correct decision.
Still makes something of this, Al Ahli. Riyad Mahrez with the corner. Ahead of Al-Amri, and left by Majrashi for an Al Ahli throw. The controversy swirling around him from the last game as well, because he was sent off in this fixture, Ali Majrashi. He, of course, got 2 goals. So many talking points from their January meeting, and here they are again, Al Nassr and Al Ahli, and it has gone up a notch in terms of what a win would mean tonight. And they're doing everything he can to disrupt from Kessié. He didn't mind it.
A slight discrepancy in size, certainly not in heart and will to win. Really good piece of defending there, Sadio Mane. Puts his body in, makes a strong challenge. Doesn't allow Frank Kessie the opportunity to get the ball back into play.
Simakan tripped. Was that Atangana again? Perhaps the contact from Ibanez. I mean, he was between the two, wasn't he?
Yeah, he's going to have to be careful, Atangana. He's in all action. Doesn't mind putting his foot in and picking up that booking already. Simakan goes through, and you're absolutely right. It is Atangana. And a challenge at that area of the pitch he really doesn't need to make. And I think that's the point that that man there was making.
No advantage for Al Ahli, so that foul by Simakan on Ivan Toney is penalised.
Going to be busy tonight, the referee. There's some unconventional challenges happening out there. Once again, Ivan Toney just gets his body in there. Simakan very industrially, not very prettily, takes him to the ground.
No longer the league's leading scorer, Ivan Toney, after those 2 from Julian Quinones for Al Qadisiyah earlier today.
Look at what him and Retegui have done. They've struck up a great partnership, haven't they? I think he was superb, Quinones. The acquisition of him, bringing him in, the partnership that he had with Aubameyang last season. He just picked that up and ran with it with Retegui.
Qadisiyah 4-0 winners at Al Riyadh earlier this evening, and Al Ittihad champions in the 2-0 victory at Al Town. Actually takes Al Ittihad a point behind Al Town in the table. Few have got under their skin in recent weeks, but Al Ahli have so far. Only conceded 3 goals in their past 13 league games, Al Nassr. Felix by Ibanez, and there is a shake of the head from him, and there's a few shakes of the head from Al Nassr players towards the referee as well. There's general disagreement about that call.
It's becoming slightly disjointed, isn't it? You know that Ibanez doesn't pull out the challenges, and in that area of the pitch he gets an opportunity to put a strong challenge in on João Felix. He's not going to turn that down, Roger Ibanez. Him and Demiral, for me, I think they're probably the best pairing in the league. But we talk about Al Ahli's strong defence, and like you just touched on there with Al Nassr, I mean, they've only conceded 21 league goals this season, which is a huge improvement on last season. Al Ahli, the best, obviously only conceding 20, but Al Nassr with only 21, which is a massive difference.
The stark change, certainly, in terms of the seasons for these two, has been the goals that they have scored themselves. 55 for Al Ahli, 79 for Al Nassr, and that's why Jorge Jesus' team ultimately are at the top of the table.
He's impressed me, Jorge Jesus, the way that he's approached his tenure at Al Nassr. He's gone in there and played to their strengths rather than trying to defend weaknesses. He's looked at the top end of the field and said, OK, that's where we're the strongest, that's where we'll win games.
Shifting it towards Mane. Coman in the box. Wasn't the option that Mane wanted to try and utilise, considering the number of white and green shirts that were also in there with him. Simakan. Asking too much of Bouchard.
For both sides, good play, and their contrasting styles. Neither goalkeeper's really been forced into any kind of serious action. The quality in the final third has certainly lacked.
Ninth meeting between the two coaches tonight, 4 wins each. Jorge Jesus and Matthias Jaissler. There's never been a draw when their teams have faced each other. Feels very even right now, though.
Well, you've promised us goals, and now you said there's never been a draw. So you do know this is finishing 0-0, don't you?
Draws don't always have to be goalless, as you know. As Rashi, Bento occupying that near post area.
He's tried to catch the goalkeeper out there. Mazraoui, the near post, looks to cross the ball. Spots the goalkeeper slightly out of position. Tries the clever one at the near post.
He's been back in the team since January, hasn't he, Bento, having had that period where he wasn't Al Nassr's #1. Back in the Brazil squad as well. He won his 7th cap for his country last month in their game against Croatia. Martinez underneath the Kessier cross. Simakan. And he's seizing the chance to step in. Galeno. Simakan with the head start on Kessier. He was one of those who went through 120 minutes from Kessier on Saturday night for Al Ahli. And at some stage, perhaps not now, but maybe a little later, that will take its toll.
I mean, the way that this game started, the pace of this game, regardless of whether you played yesterday or 3 weeks ago, you can't keep this tempo up for 90 minutes. But as you say, there may be a few tired legs in that Al Ahly side as the game wears on.
Coman. Ibanez out to meet him. Coman, you can see what pass he wanted to play, just didn't get the punch on it for Joao Felix. Now Zatangana and Galeno between them to clean up. There's another problem here for Zakaria Hassawi. Went down earlier in the game with what appeared to be a head injury. This looks like a knock of a different nature now.
He completely misreads the flight of the ball. Clever positional awareness from Coman. He just lets the ball go past him. He knows that he's got the better of the defender. Now Hassawi there. Some problem with his ankle by the look of it as he stumbles to the ground.
He was visibly furious with Hassawi at the weekend following that red card in the Champions League Elite final. Matthias Jaisler could not believe what he was seeing. And then he popped up with a goal to win it in extra time, Faris Albayrak. Passion and pride evident wherever you look tonight.
No, it's just lovely to see the younger generation as well. You know, that generation of supporter now. Every single one of these clubs is getting such a strong fan base. And the next generation, you can see, are coming inside the stadium and they're enjoying evenings like this.
He's going to get a bit of strapping on that ankle, Hassawi. Joao Felix. I mean, for all the intensity of this game, it has been punctured quite regularly, hasn't it, by fouls, free kicks, niggly situations.
It's been played largely in the middle of the field, hasn't it? Say about getting into the final third, and when you hurt the other teams, there's so much attacking quality on the field that we haven't seen yet. I mean, we've hardly mentioned Cristiano Ronaldo and Joao Felix in an attacking sense. Ivan Toney's chances limited, few and far between.
Mazraoui I don't realise how much space he had there, gives the ball away. Brozovic has got a bit of room to work his way into here as well, but his pass is also poor. This is Toney. And then Al-Jahani working it between them. Taken, but we're shallow alive to that. Brozovic drifting it over the top. Ronaldo taking it on. Mendy's come a long way. Ronaldo's still got a bit of work to do. He's lifted it in, looking for Joao Felix, away by Demirel. And then taken down by Atangana. Well, Mendy, for a moment, was in no man's land.
Yeah, he got that wrong, Edouard Mendy. Unlike him, his depth perception is normally good. He's normally a good reader of the through ball. Cristiano Ronaldo's touch, it was probably a little bit further away than he would have wanted it, but he gets there before the goalkeeper. He was completely out of position, and he gets lucky there, Edouard Mendy. He had no support with him, Cristiano Ronaldo. It's a good position, but he looks up, and there's an empty penalty box, nobody there to help him out.
Just 2 away from a century of Saudi Pro League goals, Cristiano Ronaldo. Al Nassr supporters very appreciative that one of their most technically talented is willing to do that, Joao Felix. Five to go in the first half. It's nervy. We thought it might be. Side of Kessié, Al Amri for Al Nassr. We spoke about a draw, Paul, not being particularly good for either. I mean, it would eliminate Al Ahly surely from the title race, but it just sets up this really intriguing proposition where Al Nassr would then be 6 clear of Al Hilal, but Al Hilal have still got to, of course, come here.
Regardless of the result, I think we're in for a wonderful finish to the season. I think there's still some different permutations that may happen, but as you say, for Al Ahly, this is a must-win tonight. The draw's not the end of the world for Al Nassr. Keeps them on the track of where they want to get to and where they want to be. But for him and his side, it's an absolute must-win for the visitors.
Al Hilal would have a game in hand as well, so potentially could be the prospect with a win in the derby where they suddenly go level on points going into the final game of the season with Al Nassr.
Well, we've seen so many twists and turns this season. You look at Al Hilal's running, they've certainly got the more favourable running.
We are far from seeing the final chapters of this Saudi Pro League story this season. Al-Jahani. Galeno hasn't managed to get the better of Bouchal so far. Massawi. Tengana. Kessié. Ibanez all the way up there. And not to be deceived, Al Amri, by the presence of another centre-back in his own penalty area. Kessié was trying to play the pass. He's now trying to get on the end of his own pass. And Martinez snuffs it out.
Just getting frustrated, the home supporters. They want to see some more forward intent from their side. Brozovic tried to act on that there. Disappointing ball over the top. Two managers with different demeanours at the moment. Mateusz Jaisler, I don't think he'll be too displeased with what he's seeing. There's George Jesus, he seems to be asking for more from his side.
Another giveaway by Al Amri. Massawi. Galeno. Massawi now offering an option. Trying to get past Al Kaibari's got the corner for Al Ahly. First time really we've seen the fullback get up and support Galeno like that.
He's had a difficult first half. Massawi, at that time he gets around the outside of Galeno. Galeno's the attacking option, and normally he finds himself the highest up the pitch, but that time the fullback doubled up with him.
The former Porto man on the corner, Galeno. In the last 60 seconds of a eye-catching first half without a goal so far. Galeno. Kessié, who was shouting for a handball while also trying to get on the end of the ball. And at the end of it all, the decision is goal kick. But we might not be done yet in terms of the final call on this.
He's looking for a handball there, Frank Kessié at the far post. Doesn't know what to do, whether to continue to try and keep the ball in play or to stop and appeal to the referee. Doesn't look too much in that. Martinez is not even looking at the ball. He's got his back turned to the ball. There's a little bit of an aftermath coming together of the players in the box as well.
All the while, it's Abdullah Al Amri who is asking for some treatment here. But the There is a VAR check taking place on that possible penalty.
They'll check the possible penalty. I think with Al-Amri and Ibanez, I think it maybe was as he was leaving the penalty area, either him or Demiral. That was the coming together with Al-Amri, but it will be the incident before. Martinez there pleading his innocence to the referee. Interesting to see it again. He had his back to the ball. It's obviously been checked and cleared very quickly. Officials have been good for me. They've looked at the incident, dealt with it, and once again, I think the correct decision's been made. Not to his liking.
No, but a first half where his team at least have flustered the league leaders, and complaints right now are rife in all quarters, aren't they? Not even sure what happened to Al-Amri in there.
No, I'm not so sure much of this is needed, in all honesty. And it you know, it makes me laugh when the players surround the referee. When it goes to VAR, there's no point in standing around the referee pleading your case, because it's not his decision. Look again at the far post there. Frank Kessie immediately wants a penalty, asking the assistant on the far side. And there's the coming together in the middle. There's nothing in that. And it's becoming slightly disjointed, isn't it?
It's been a stormy day in Riyadh, and it is a stormy end to the first half as well. Kessier's calmed down now, hasn't he?
Yeah, well, we've had a VAR complete warning on the screen, so VAR maybe now checking the incident as the players were leaving the box. Two incidents, I think the referee's indicating there. Both were checked, and again, nothing given, and I think that's the correct decision.
Mateusz going to have a further 15 minutes to ruminate on that.
Well, he's not had much luck with referees this season, Mateusz Jaisler, has he? And fourth officials on the touchline, so he'll be feeling hard done to again. Well, that seems everyone to a man is off each dugout. The fourth official down there has got a big job on his hands.
Simakan sending it back to Bento. Bashes it upfield towards Mane. One in the air by Mazraoui. Tangana times his leap well. Front to Brozovic and continues his run. He's collected it here at Tangana. Simakan has just guided him away from goal. It's a smart bit of defending from the former RB Leipzig defender. There's no foul on Tangana there, despite the Al-Ahli midfielder taking a tumble. Somehow Al Nassr emerged with the ball. Brozovic showed too much of it. Here's Tony. It's not going to count whatever happens from here. The whistle has gone for the tackle by Al Jahani that the referee didn't like, and he's going to get a yellow card.
Yeah, this is getting very, very scrappy now. Challenges flying in all over the field. Difficult job for the official. Players are appealing for everything. That was a poor challenge by Al Jahani. Saw the ball just come out of Brozovic's reach, but he flew in from a distance. I think the best thing the referee can do now is blow the half-time whistle.
I don't think they're going to go down the tunnel quietly, though, do you?
No, I mean, this was a poor challenge from distance. Brozovic made the most of it, as are most players on the field, making the most of most challenges. Looking at it again on that one, it maybe wasn't as bad as you first thought, but I think the fact that he came from a distance and lunged in was his problem.
Potentially actually more of a foul on Al-Khaibari than it was Brozovic. Anyway, I imagine once Al-Khaibari's had the treatment, we will be hearing that sound at the half-time whistle. So we've had a sizable extension to the extension in terms of added time.
You see the pictures now of George Jesus, Mateusz Jaisler. That poor fourth official down on the touchline, he's having a lot busier evening than he thought he was going to have.
Head on the swivel stick and all of that. We will feel they've got the upper hand then.
I think Mateusz Jaisler and Al Ahly will feel that's a job well done. I think they've stuck to their game plan, as we've seen. Look at the national coach there again, making his notes. But yeah, I think Al Ahly will be pleased. As I say, they don't expect to dominate possession. They don't do that. That's not the way that they play. But the clean sheet is of all importance to them. And the longer they stay in the game, they'll be the happier of the two.
I would assume these are now the very closing seconds of this first half. Yeah, though, Al-Khaibari has been invited back onto the fields. Nassr might yet have time to launch a very late attack in this first half. And there is the conclusion of a tight and tense 45 minutes so far, where tempers have certainly frayed at times. No big chances, though, for either of these two big teams, each nullifying one another with the sort of fine defensive work that has defined their seasons in recent months. And we are as we were at the very start of the night, half-time in Riyadh, with a scoreline of Al Nassr 0, Al Ahly 0.
This right here, Domino's new slice sauce. It's the perfect pairing for your pizza. Whether you dip it, dunk it, or do that. Get new slice sauce for free when you order Parmesan stuffed crust or handmade pan pizzas from Domino's.
Introducing a better way to work.
He's got one goal this season, and it was against Al Ahly in the Super Cup final, all the way back in August. Michel turning it to Brozovic. Coman surrounded by four at one point there. Al-Khaibari. Felix too high for Mane.
See what he's trying to do there, Joe Felix. Mane gets into the box, is completely unmarked. It's half a chance. It's a good ball from Felix, slightly too high for Sadio Mane.
Well, he's been talking about the Al Nassr fans this week, saying they've had a significant impact on recent games, helping his team's confidence. Spoke about the importance of unity right now between the Al Nassr players and those who are watching on from the stands. The arm by Franck Kessié. By Ronaldo, back by Mazraoui ahead of Joao Felix, and then Al Jahani opening the picture up. This is Galeno. Galeno towards Atangana. Bento couldn't hold on to it. It's going to be an al-Ahli throw, and al-Nassr would have taken that, given the position Galeno was in.
Yeah, he's been a good attacking outlet, Galeno, down that left-hand side. He's got the beating of Noah Bushell. You can see there, turn the full-back inside out. He got away with it in the end. Bento's handling wasn't the best.
It's a touch by Tony, who wanted the free kick, and he probably would have got one had the offside flag not been raised.
We said that once or twice about al-Ahli tonight, haven't we? The opportunities that they've created, but again, you see that yellow line in unity. They squeeze up and they catch everybody offside. Chance for Galeno. Bento gets lucky. Danger cleared in the end from al-Amri. He's been good, Galeno. He's a threat.
Brozovic, that pass very much in his repertoire. Coman causing problems for Hasawi, going one way, then going the other. Can he find something at the end of it all? He can't. Awkward header there, which has left things open, but Galeno not able to scamper beyond Bushell.
Chance again. The goalkeeper gets there in front of Atangana. His team have been better in the second half. They've started the livelier of the two.
Felix trying to go around Demirel. Used his frame illegally, according to the referee.
Well, he questions it. Demirel, as he does with most decisions. Joe Felix got round him there. He got the better of the defender. It was a clear foul. He does well, Felix, because once he knows his goal side, he's in the ascendancy.
That's the third al-Ahli player in the book tonight.
It's a good ball into Joe Felix, and he knows that he's got the pace to get round him. Intelligent play from the Portuguese.
So he's on a yellow card. Atangana's on a yellow card, and so is Al Jahani as well. Al Nassr have got a free kick in a position where Cristiano Ronaldo will, I imagine, be keeping Mendy on his toes a bit here.
He scored past me from a similar area. 100% this will be going towards the goal.
Well, I hope Mendy's been watching the highlights of that game.
Maybe not taking any goalkeeping technique tips off me for that incident.
Ronaldo, he has gone for goal, and Mendy's positioning was fine. Now Kaibari. Bushell. Trashy underneath it, and Joao Felix leaving one in on Mahrez, as they say. So when was that Cristiano Ronaldo free kick?
I don't like to think about it. I do remember it was at Old Trafford, very similar area. And I, unlike Edouard Mendy, didn't read the situation. But to be fair to Ronaldo, he whacked it up high into the near post. Mendy does well there, takes no chances, gets two good fists on it. He clears the ball out the danger area, which is important.
Yeah, when I said Mendy's positioning was good, that was in no reflection of what had happened at Old Trafford all those years ago.
We've worked together long enough now. I don't believe you.
Mahrez, super ball. Ibanez on the end of it. Al-Amri had to get it right, he did.
That's his best challenge of the night. He's had 3 or 4 clumsy ones, Al-Amri, and that's one that he couldn't afford to miss time.
This game's got a bit more of an open feel to it since they've come out in the second half.
That's why he impresses me, Housawi. He sometimes gets caught out of position, but he's got the pace to get himself back into position where he can win the ball back. So again, he was caught out of position, as was Al-Amri. That's a wonderful tackle, superbly timed. He loves it, doesn't he? Look at that, great celebration.
Certainly had a big moment, hasn't he, in this fixture this season with his 2 goals against Al-Ahli. Champion 12 months ago with Al Ittihad during a loan spell there. That was most unexpected, I think, when Al Nassr let him go. Looking to get it through a small gap towards Joao Felix, who still wants it, but now he's going to make the move for Mane instead. Mane's making his own moves. Coman. Ronaldo lingering. That's Ronaldo, that's Joao Felix, and that is the best chance of Al Nassr's night so far.
Big chance. And a player of his quality, you expect him to hit the target from that type of area. Characteristically, Cristiano Ronaldo just lets the ball out of his feet, but he's got the tactical intelligence just to poke it into the path of his teammate. Sits nicely for Joao Felix. Got to hit the target from that range.
He's joint 5th on the list of top scorers in the Saudi Pro League this season. He will probably feel he should be outright 5th after that. 3 goals in his last 3 games, having gone 14 without one in the Saudi Pro League. Throughout that time, he was constantly providing, even if he wasn't scoring himself. Clambering above Tony to win the header. Bushal driving on. Khaibari now into his 8th season with Al Nassr. He's played 250 times for the club. Koeman not putting that where Bushal wanted it. Had to be quick to move it to Demirel. Atangana, and the high presses work for Al Nassr. Martinez swinging it in and claiming it above Ronaldo.
That's a better press from Al Nassr. He's encouraging his team to try and win the ball back.
Now Galeno chasing. Bento's come a long way. He's gone and won the ball and also hurt Galeno, who was trying to reach it ahead of him. Galeno is in a fair bit of pain here. I mean, both had every right to go for the ball, but Galeno's the one who's come out worse. And there is one Brazilian who's got some concern about another here.
I don't like the goalkeeper's reaction there. It looks like he did well there, the goalkeeper. He read the through ball extremely well. But Galeno's in some pain. It's a good ball over the top from Mendy. Simakan slightly misjudges the ball. It's a completely accidental collision. I think Galeno's leg folds underneath him. Oh, it's not a nice one. That's really not a nice one for Galeno. Goalkeeper gets there first. It's a completely accidental collision. And the way that he falls on his leg there, Galeno. And you could see from Bento's reaction, that looks a serious one for Galeno, unfortunately.
concern for Galeno.
He'll be a loss. He's been their biggest attacking threat this evening, in between now and the rest of the season. Been such an integral part of their team down that left-hand side. The way that they play, they use him as an outlet. Two coaches as animated as ever.
Jesus, who is almost twice Mateusz Jaisler's age. Well, let us hope that one of the kings from the other night is not as seriously injured as it appears.
You could tell from Bento's reaction immediately. And the goalkeeper's there on bended knee over his opposition player. They're going to have to make the change. I just hope for himself and for ahli it's not going to be for a long period of time. It certainly didn't look nice on impact. It'd be a huge miss for them.
So Saturday's hero is getting an earlier introduction than perhaps he thought he might get in this second half. Fares Albarracen, under the watchful eye of his new national team coach as well. He clearly would not want to be coming into this game in these circumstances.
No, this doesn't get any better every time you see it. There's nothing the goalkeeper can do. He's got there first. It's a real accidental collision. It's just not a nice injury in such an unfortunate circumstance.
Give ahli the option of playing in the wide areas and also through the middle, Albarracen, but one would imagine he's going to take up that position on the left-hand side here.
Yeah, he won't change his team shape tonight. Mateusz Jaisler, he'll be happy with what he's seen from his team, and I think they've been the better side in the second half. I think they were just playing their way into the game, playing their way into a performance. The game's been disjointed, it's been stop-start enough. It's been a long stoppage now. Will come on. We've seen him play off that left-hand side before, but he will get in and around Ivan Toney. And also, again, he's a threat from set plays. Wonderful support, isn't it? I mean, it just seems to grow week in, week out. And the away support as well, the travelling support for all the teams now. We've seen so many full stadiums and the atmosphere from the start and the finish, all the way through the game. Fans play such a huge part in this league.
He is distraught, Galeno. And we can only wish him well. And here comes Albarracen, whose emotions will be coursing through the veins right now, not just off the back of Saturday, not just because he's coming on for his stricken teammate, but also because he was a league winner with Al Nassr in 2019 when they last lifted the trophy. Could it be another headline tonight? Sending it forward. Mahrez looked like he was having his shirt tugged, was he? He was. It wasn't seen by the referee. Kessié. Mahrez. Stopped by Martinez and then taken back by Mahrez again. Atzingana. Simakan with the poke to move it away from Kessié. Joao Felix around Nassr. This is Ronaldo. Mane. Morel thinks that Mane got the last touch, but it's not the call from the referee. Morel can't be too exuberant with his protests.
I think we've watched him long enough to know now that that won't happen. He will continue to be exactly the same, and his manager as well. I think there's been a lot of appealing going on through this game. The referee's had a tough job on his hands.
Only his second Saudi Pro League appearance in the last 13 games tonight for Mary Demirel. We are waiting still for the explosive first moment of this game. Joao Felix, and it is not arriving here and now, at least. He's walked right past those Al Ahly fans, Galeno. I mean, it's good that he's on his feet, but clearly in a lot of pain.
No, that's a very good sign. That's a really good sign that he's up and on his feet and walking about.
Here's Atangana. And the man who's come on for Galeno, Albarracin. Sawi. Halted for now by Bouchard, who's still got a bit of work to do to stop him. He did. It's an unlucky throw. Really does have that feel that it could go either way, that one goal may well be enough tonight. In it comes towards Kessié, cleared by Simakan, and then the hit by Al-Jahani.
There's so much quality out there on the field, and it's going to take a moment of quality.
Ibanez, Martinez knew that Mahrez was behind him. That's Mane, that's a nice ball for Brozovic, who took it well too, to keep this attack moving quickly for Al Nassr. Mane pulled over by Mazraoui. Might be getting a yellow card himself here, the Al Ahly man.
You look at Sadio Mane's willingness to run. At 34 years of age now. I mean, he's the engine that he's got and the ability that he's got to still get around players and cause problems. He's had a busy one, hasn't he?
He's handled it well, though, hasn't he?
I think he's been excellent, I really do. I think there's been some big decisions, and I think the players have put pressure on him at different times during the game. But I think him and his support team have handled the game really well this evening.
Well, some of Joao Felix's deliveries tonight have left a little to be desired. Can he get one right? Can Al Nassr find a breakthrough here? Ronaldo was in there, and so was Simakan. And somehow, amongst that cluster of yellow, nobody got a decisive touch.
What a super ball. That is a quality delivery. For all the poor ones he's had tonight, Joao Felix, that made up for it. That was on a plate for somebody. Good defensive line from Al Ahly. Cristiano Ronaldo can't quite get the touch he wants at the near post. Al-Amri can't reach it, and no touch at the far post. Two Al Nassr players flying in. It's a super delivery. It was begging somebody to put it in the back of the net.
A little closer, though, for Al Nassr. But as it stands, this winning run, this long winning run that Al Nassr have been on, is going to be halted by Al Ahly. Mazraoui. Tony. Mazraoui again. Al Khaibari. Using his body well, and then Al-Amri says, we'll celebrate that with a connection of bodies.
They've appealed for everything tonight, Al Ahly, but I think even the manager knew that he wasn't getting one that time. Referee once again on the spot, immediately dismisses the claims.
Had a league game for 3 weeks, Al Ahly, when they drew with Al Fayha 1-1. So one of their more recent league games was that astonishing game against Al Qadisiyah in March, where they were winning until the final seconds and then were unbelievably beaten to end that unbeaten run of almost 3 months. Sent their own title challenge off course that night, didn't it?
We've seen so much late drama in this league this season. There's been some very special evenings. I think the script is still to be written here too.
shifted towards Joao Felix. Kessié shows too much of it to the ever-busy Al-Khaibari. He's stopping play because of an injury, though, which has irritated Al Nassr.
That's one thing they can't afford to do, Al Nassr. They need to stay patient. Al Ahli will try and frustrate them. They'll look to appeal for everything. They'll try and break the game up as it has done. And the longer they stay in it, they know that they'll have a chance on the counter-attack or from a set play.
His team at the moment are halting a side who have scored in their last 57 games in all competitions. But that is what they do.
You look at the players that they've got in the side, you'd be very disappointed with that plethora of attacking quality if they didn't score every game. But the numbers that he's produced again, I mean, you look at his record at Al Hilal when they were on that run and they went towards the league title, and his winning runs that he had there and the goals they scored, and he's replicating it at Al Nassr.
130 games he had in charge of Al Hilal, Jorge Jesus, just the 101 wins.
Unbelievable, isn't it? Unbelievable. And it still wasn't enough to keep him his job.
Saying this week, Jorge Jesus, that nothing is more demanding than a full league season, and no country is more demanding in terms of fine margins and little room for error than the Saudi Pro League. Mane passed a couple, then tried to bash his way past Demirel. It does often feel like that, doesn't it, in this country, in this league, that you're going to have a couple of slips and all of a sudden you are wayward of where you want to be.
Well, we see the quality rise week in and week out, from the recruitment to the teams. You look at the title race this season, the top four: Al Nassr, Hilal, Al Ahli, Al Qadsiya, Al Town as well for a good chunk of this season. There was, you know, each one of those could say they mounted a title charge at one point, and then the bottom of the league and the top is becoming closer.
Here's Ivan Toney on his own at the moment. Kessié is doing everything he can to get in there. Bouchal, he slipped, but he managed to get a boot on the ball before Albarekan could.
Brilliant recovery. Noah Bouchal there, the right back. Could have been in all kinds of trouble with that slip.
First ever manager, the only one in history, Mateusz Jaissner, to guide a team to consecutive AFC Champions League elite crowns. We wondered, didn't we, how his team would stand up tonight, having played on Saturday 120 minutes, what they would look like at this stage of the night.
Relies on the same nucleus of players. Yes, they've got a big squad, but he knows his strongest starting 11, Mateusz Jaissner. And they're a fit team, and very, very well coached. And that man's a big part of it, Frank Kessie. He's had a quiet second half, but I think he's very instrumental in the first half.
Lovely touch, Joao Felix. Ghana sticking to the task, sticking to him too tightly. Jorge Jesus has marched out of his technical area to remind the referee that Atangana is on that first half yellow card.
He's going to have to be careful, Atangana, because that's not the first reckless challenge he's made since he's been booked.
I was going to say, if he wasn't on the tightrope, he's at least climbing the steps to get up there, isn't he, Atangana?
Yeah, he's getting close to it with the accumulation as well, and that's a challenge once again. He doesn't need to make that challenge. He's going nowhere in that situation, Joao Felix. For as well as he does, it's a super first touch. Gets himself in a great position, but he's got his back to play and he's heading towards the touchline. No need for that challenge.
So he's got another chance here, Joao Felix, to deliver a killer ball into that Al Ahly penalty area, just as he did not too long ago when it was missed by all who tried to get a touch on it. And these are the moments that matter at this stage of the season. Last quarter of an hour. Joao Felix close to Mendy and not taking a chance, Hassan Ghana, on his goalkeeper being where he needed him to be.
Good positioning there from Hassan Ghana. Puts himself in front of that near post.
He would like one moment, wouldn't he? Just the one.
Normally finds them, doesn't he?
Felix, and the header finds the net, and who has found the net? Cristiano Ronaldo. That's the moment. And it might be a defining moment in Al Nassr's season. Ronaldo wears the crown. And Al Nassr getting ever closer to where they want to be.
He normally finds them, and he might just have found the biggest goal of his and Al Nassr's season. It's a super delivery, but once again he gets to the near post. He's the biggest, he's the tallest, the strongest, and there was only going to ever be one outcome. It's a brilliant header. It glances off the side of his head. The direction of it's perfect. And it's a massive, massive goal in the context of the season and this match.
One touch is all it takes, and they're falling in love again.
Big games, big moments, big players. When your team needs a moment, quality always rises to the top.
And now he is going to be entrusted with getting the instructions on to the rest of his team, or maybe he's telling Jorge Jesus what they need from here.
Well, I don't think the manager will be asking him to go and play in defence at the moment, put it that way.
What, with headers like that, he might be quite useful back there. And Riyadh suddenly raucous. The back of that goal and the despondent Al Ahly face is a change for the visitors. Abu Al-Shamat is on for Hassan Ghana.
Well, they've got it all to do now, the visitors. The atmosphere inside the stadium has changed one very positive way for the home side.
Mane for Martinez. And Su is just rippling around the stadium right now. The Ronaldo celebration over and over again.
Oh, what a great moment, and what a great celebration away in the corner as well. You felt the relief, the release of the pressure from the Al Nassr players. But they know that they've still got a job to do, because there'll be a good chunk of time bolted on at the end of this.
There's Mahrez. Mirozovic leaning into him too much. They're going to need to find a way to replenish here, Al Ahly. Replenish the bodies, replenish the minds after a tremendous but taxing few days. Mahrez. Kessié is on his own. Bento took authority on the whole situation.
About concentration now for those in yellow and blue, keeping a clean sheet.
Just going to run away from Al-Shamat. Prior to tonight, 11 clean sheets in their last 13 league games, Al Nassr.
What would they give for another one tonight? It would be huge in the context of their season. This is a big result if it stays this way, but there's a long way left.
That's us through to Bento again. Well, he's been here 100 times, hasn't he? I imagine that little tactics board has been there 100 times. Listen to this stadium.
There's been a belief all season, the way that they started the season, Al Nassr, and the home supporters here have come to the stadium week in and week out, feeling that there's something special to happen this season, and they're on the brink of it.
Mane, Felix. Another assist for him tonight in such a wonderful season. 12 now in the Saudi Pro League. He's at the very top of that stats list, Joao Felix. Didn't get enough on it. Al-Kaibari, Coman, taken back by the strength of Kessié. Lifted towards Mahrez. Martinez comes over, Mahrez moves past him and past Al-Amri. And Bouchard there to nod it back to goalkeeper Bento.
Be a long 10 minutes or so for the home side. Still pushing forward, still taking opportunities, conversations going down in the dugout, so there's going to be changes to be made. Such an attacking side, Al Nassr, it's almost not in their nature to close up, to shut up shop, to try and see the game out.
To stretch the Al Ahly defence. Referee deemed that he was already stumbling and tumbling before any meaningful contact. Jahani. Ibanez. Barrecan trying to hold his run. Gives it the full treatment.
No nonsense now. Saw the goalkeeper going long. Not going to take any chances. Al Nassr trying to play out.
It comes from Mazraoui, cut out by the flexible Al-Amri. Kessié, Tony, who unfortunately for him has found himself on the periphery of this game largely. Mazraoui, Tony, Mazraoui goes over. Wants a penalty, he's not going to get one. He's going to get an earful though from Inigo Martinez, who didn't like that.
You can see what he's trying, he's never going to get on the end of that 1-2. More in hope and optimism, I think.
Eight points the difference right now at the top of the table between Al Nassr and second place Al Hilal. Yahya, who is so often coming into the games late on for Al Nassr in a variety of positions. His versatility, a huge asset to Jorge Jesus. He replaces Sadio Mane.
Again, they won't change the shape. He'll drop in on this left-hand side. Just freshens things up a little bit. Maybe slightly more defensively minded as well.
QR code on your screen. If you want to scan that, you can vote for your player of the match tonight.
Once again, see the goal. Once again, see the goal. He knew what he was doing in communication with his fellow countrymen. Sneaks on the inside of the goalkeeper. It's all about the delivery and his movement. Watch his movement. Very, very clever piece of movement. And we know the leap that he's got and the quality that he possesses. What a great sight.
I get a feeling that might be one of the shots of the season. Certainly feels like, if it is to be an Al Nassr win, one of the wins of their season. Ronaldo raw, and the Al Nassr joy, unbridled, unfiltered.
And look what it means to him. You know, everything that he's achieved through his career, the trophies that he's won, the milestones that he's hit, still scoring a goal, the passion that it still brings to him.
By the way, if he scores against Al Shabab, that means Cristiano Ronaldo will have notched against every Saudi Pro League team this season, which is an astonishing statistic as a standalone. Nassr preparing another change here. Abdullah Al-Hamdan getting himself organised. Brozovic with the free kick. Koeman. Ronaldo. It's a corner. Shake of the head from Ibanez in Ronaldo's direction, who I think perhaps was asking for something that would have presented him with a chance to score again.
Two central defenders for Al Ahli, Ibanez and Demiral, getting very, very frustrated. They're going to have to be careful. So is Ibanez, already in the book, I think.
Another corner, this time towards Joao Felix. It's come the Portuguese way eventually, and then Ronaldo tried something cheeky that time. He's got the energy to keep it in as well, Cristiano Ronaldo. And then Felix spreading it towards Brozovic. And Demiral clatters it behind.
And a good piece of defending. He's got great positional awareness. He's just losing his cool a little bit. Demiral is frustrated with his teammates. Things aren't quite going the way that he wants.
Memories of 2019, they are going to be spoken about with even more intensity if Al Nassr can get over the line here. Brozovic, Rashi there, up into the sky by Mahrez, one by Yahya. That's a hit by Koeman! That is a hit by Kingsley Coman! And that'll do it for Al Nassr. Edging closer and closer to getting their hands on the title again.
Wow, wow, wow. What a strike from Koeman. They do so well. Al Nassr, they keep the ball alive and he finds himself in space. He's got no other options. He just puts his foot through the ball. And it's sheer power and pace that whizzes past Edouard Mendy at such pace. Still, no emotion from the manager, but he knows that's job done tonight. And that's one step closer. Yes, you're right. One step closer to that league title.
He's been in such great form, Kingsley Coman. The coolest guy on the circuit right now. A hat-trick in that semi-final in the Champions League 2 against Al Ahli of Qatar. A goal last time out here against Al Attifaq. And this one tonight will seal it. And now the party's really getting going. Off comes Cristiano Ronaldo. Job done from his perspective.
Well, he was the one that settled the nerves in the first place. That all-important first goal. And the deadlock was broken. And once again, he's played a captain's role, and he knows it. Means so much to him and Al Nassr. Jorge Jesus, the job that he's doing this season. The belief is starting to turn to reality for those fans inside this stadium.
Got the free kick, Coman, to eat up a few more seconds. Yellow card for Ivan Toney, who was actually involved in a verbal altercation with Kingsley Coman off the back of that goal, so maybe a free kick out of frustration from the Al Ahly forward.
He's had very little service tonight, Ivan Toney, and as you say, I think it's been a frustrating evening for him. Difficult in that position if you're not given the service, hard to score the goals.
Might have just altered your view, that Kingsley Coman goal, over who will be voted for player of the game this evening.
Yeah, difficult with the one or two contenders out there. Obviously the two goal scorers will be very, very high up on the list.
Demirel, that's untidy, and Demirel needs to be careful not to react to that challenge from Yaya, because he's on a yellow card. Yaya's now got one. Bubbling, isn't it? It is bubbling.
9 minutes added on. I'll be surprised if we finish the game with all the players still on the field the way this is going at the moment. It's a poor challenge from Yaya. Demirel makes the most of it. He's already not in the best of moods, Demirel. That didn't help him.
And I noted Mateusz Jaisler was in the eye line of Demirel to say, calm down. Don't get too revved up by all of this. Number 2, I wonder if that's just a little too continental trophies indication towards the Al Nassr fans and players there from Merih Demirel.
Yeah, he's certainly losing his cool, Demirel, in the last 15-20 minutes or so.
Well, they've got the memo, haven't they? It was their night on Saturday. It isn't this evening, though.
No, I just think the support's incredible as well. So many football grounds around the world. You know, if your team's losing 2-0 and you're this deep into injury time, people leave, but nobody leaves these games. They're such well supported.
They've got it all to do, Al Ahly, from here. Surely it is too much of an ask. Abu Al-Shamat, twisting, turning, delivering a ball that is close to Bento. None of his teammates.
Very comfortable for the goalkeeper. Exactly what he likes at this stage of the game. And that was as proudly celebrated as one of the goals. The atmosphere in here tonight has been electric.
Yaya wins the free kick. Rashi, who is irritated and of course has already been sent off in this fixture this season. Well, they've got every right to believe now, haven't they?
It's a massive result. This really is a big result for Al Nassr. Spoke about the running that they've got and the current run of form that they're in. That continues that run, and they go into Al Qadsiya next week full of confidence.
Well, Felix has gone for goal. Mendy was nearly caught out by that. Confidence of Joao Felix on display.
Clever, very clever, intelligent piece of play. I'm not so sure that his manager was too pleased. I think he wanted the ball in the corner to waste a little bit of time. It's a great opportunity, a great effort.
Certainly got the Portuguese pupils widening, didn't it? Kessié, flicked on by Tony. And Tony squeezed by Simakan, cut out by Bouchal, who is now playing his own piece in this party tonight. Hello. Mohamed Youssef coming on for the final few minutes. Rashi has been hurried off the pitch by his own goalkeeper here, Edouard Mendy. It's going to be a night of disappointment for Al Ahli after several days of great celebration. This officially eliminates Al Ahli from playing their part in the title race this season. You're wondering from here whether Al Hilal are going to be allowed the opportunity to catch Al Nassr as the challenges continue to fly in. Is knocked over. Yes, again. Bouchal sliding, not reaching it. Tony was awaiting. Al Amri marching his own teammate out the way, Simakan, to collect the ball, and then flick is wayward from Al Hamdan, and then a late challenge, and now it is starting to explode again. Demirel and Koeman involved. And this is beginning to get a little out of control all of a sudden. This has been coming, hasn't it?
Yeah, this is silly now. There's players getting involved that don't need to get involved. Yes, it was a poor challenge. Demirel went down heavily, and then he was very quickly back to his feet, remonstrating. It's turning into a bit of a mess. It's been a good game. This is a shame.
Yeah, and look, Al Amri's trying to pull several of his players away because this is about to really kick up a notch here.
Yeah, it was a poor challenge from Koeman in an area of the pitch. Once again, he didn't need to make it. Demirel certainly made the most of it.
Well, we're at those 9 minimum minutes of added time here. There is a check for a possible red card. I mean, the referee will do well to deal with this and then call time on the whole occasion.
Well, this could be one of 4 or 5 players that they're checking a possible red card for. Demirel's once again on the ground in front of the referee. Edouard Mendy, to be fair to him, as captain, he's come in there and he's tried to sort it out. But there's players here that don't need to get involved. You've seen this coming with Demirel. This has been on the cards for a long time with him in this game.
The whole situation wasn't hugely helped by objects being thrown from the stands either onto the pitch.
I think the referee's been excellent, I really do. I think it's been a very difficult game for him to referee and officiate. I think him and his team of officials have done extremely well. Edouard Mendy there has acted as peacemaker. I think the best thing he can do now is look at his watch and blow the whistle, because this one's done.
There's no clarity really as to whether this check is still going on here.
I think Kingsley Coman thinks the final whistle's been blown. He's taken his shin pads off. I think the referee thinks that the referee's blown the whistle. The check's still on. I don't think the challenge was a red card. I think it was a poor challenge. I think the referee got it right. He was there, give him the yellow card. It's all just become a little bit of a melee that didn't really need to happen.
You're right, though. That's probably the issue here. Is there's a lot more footage to review rather than just the Coman tackle. But they've managed to work their way through it all and determine that no further action is required. Sultan Al Ghanam and Saad Al Nassr, a couple of fullbacks, getting some very late seconds.
Intelligent from the manager, because he knows that that could have been a red card. I think that's nothing else other than taking the players off the field. Slightly frustrated with the situation. But what a goal he scored this evening. What a wonderful finish from Kingsley Coman.
They're all poised on the sidelines to celebrate this. In yellow. They know the significance of this win, Al Nassr. They know how disheartening this will be to Al Hilal, let alone Al Ahli. Most are forward for the visitors here. Jahani and Martinez have both ended up on the floor, and Al Nassr have been given a free kick.
Can you give the referee player of the match? Scan that QR code and see if the referee's an option, because I think he's been superb tonight.
Everyone is just waiting for the inevitable. They just want to get these celebrations started. Saudi Pro League wins in a row for Al Nassr. They are racing along. But the scenes at full time continue to be ugly. And Al Nassr once more stretching their legs at the top of the Saudi Pro League table. 8 points clear of Al Hilal. And they will be feeling like sooner rather than later they are finally going to say that they are the champions of Saudi Arabia again. The celebrations feel that way on a mighty night for Al Nassr. They've beaten Al Ahli by 2-0.